With regional and local development as one of the main thrusts of President Duterte's socio-economic development agenda, the RDC-10 is tasked to coordinate the region's development efforts. Taking off from the lessons learned in the previous years, the RDC recognizes that it takes more than high growth to be able to lift the region's poor out of poverty. Hence, the game plan from the very start is to lay down the foundation for inclusive growth, a high-trust and resilient society, and a globally competitive knowledge economy. 3 years ago, the RDC prepared the Regional Development Plan, or the RDP, for the period 2017 to 2022, and everyone witnessed the spirit of cooperation and solid resolution to pitch in to realize our desired outcomes for Northern Mindanao. Guided by the country's long-term vision, or the Ambisyon Natin 2040, the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, and anchored on the President's 0 to 10 socio-economic agenda, the RDP serves as the region's blueprint in laying down the 3 main pillars of malasakit, pagbabago, at patuloy na pag-unlad. That will help us build a secure, comfortable, and strongly rooted life for all Filipinos by 2040. In 2016, the RDC-10 hit the ground running to achieve the region's development goals. Following the crafting of the RDP, the RDC formulated the 6-year Regional Development Investment Program, which contains the priority programs on projects that will translate the plan's desired outputs, outcomes, and results. In its bid to improve resource allocation, the RDC continued to strengthen the linkage between planning, investment programming, and budgeting by implementing public financial management reforms. Moreover, the RDC also supported the strengthening of the alignment of the national and local budgets. With these reforms, partnership with its advisory committee, as well as the participatory process of multi-sector consultation, the region gained a fair share in the allocation of Mindanao's budget. The RDC is also instrumental in the realization of major infrastructure projects in the region, such as the construction of Panguil Bay Bridge, soon to be the country's longest bridge, the Alae-Fividec Bypass Road, the East-West Lateral Road, flood control and drainage projects in Cagayan de Oro, Iligan, and other areas in the region. Among the projects the RDC continued to shepherd are the Northern Mindanao Regional Government Center and alternative transport solutions to improve connectivity, particularly of the growth centers in the region. Monitoring of these projects are regularly conducted by the RDC through its Regional Project Monitoring Committee to address implementation bottlenecks and concerns. Also underway is the preparation of a comprehensive and inclusive master plan for the sustainable urban infrastructure development of Metro Cagayan de Oro. This master plan, along with other spatial plans that will be formulated in the next years, shall further define our strategic development areas. Other major RDC initiatives include plan advocacy activities and services, conduct of information and services caravans, and policy recommendations which were translated into concrete policies and guidelines. In 2018, the RDC also approved its Manual of Operations, which serves as a guide for the orderly conduct and performance of its roles, functions, and other related activities. Recently, the RDC shifted from paper to digital agenda kits as an innovation to further improve efficiency of RDC meetings. These and all, we have achieved in a short span of time. The past 3 years have 2 important stories to tell. The first one is exciting and gives everyone a sense of pride. But the second story is equally important as we noted challenging tasks ahead. At the economic front, it is rewarding to note that in 2018, the regional economy grew by 7%. This is well within our target range for the year and brings the 3-year moving average growth rate to 6.8%, which is the highest since 2006. Looking at the sources of growth, we see the dominance of the industry and services sectors in 2018, testaments that the region has gained foothold as an industrial core and trade center in this part of the country. This high and sustained growth resulted in more jobs for Filipinos in the region. This, along with the government's fiscal reforms and expansion of social protection programs, also reduced significantly the poverty rate among families over the past 3 years. Our gains are evident, but so are the challenges we confront. While poverty rates among families and population dropped, the magnitude of poor Filipinos remains unacceptably high at more than 1 million. Development gaps are also recorded in health, education, and other social indicators. Further, disparities still exist as farmers and those in geographically isolated and conflict-affected areas remain the poorest. The RDC recognized the need for government to provide support to these poorest, lagging, and conflict-vulnerable areas. This year, more deliberate actions were undertaken to channel resources to these geographic focus areas. One of which is the Convergence Areas for Peace and Development, or the CAPDEV program, which aims to address the root causes of insurgencies and other forms of conflict. CAPDEV institutionalizes the whole-of-nation approach through focused, coordinated, and sustained delivery of basic services in poor, conflict-affected, and geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas in the region. Various activities have already been conducted since January this year to enlist the support of government, the private sector, and CSOs to CAPDEV. Initial results have been encouraging, such as the consideration of the focus areas and CAPDEV in the respective budget proposals of the agencies for fiscal year 2020. Certainly, the first half of the year was indeed at full throttle, even as more spade works need to be conducted in the second half of the year and beyond. All these will be considered as we update the RDP this year and recalibrate the strategies therein to assert Northern Mindanao's role as the premier gateway, an industrial core and trade center in this part of the country, and ensure inclusive and sustainable peace and development in the region. The region's economy is robust and steady, and we remain optimistic that the region has ample room to grow. The RDC hopes to have the continued support of the government agencies, private sector, CSOs, and other stakeholders. In translating this growth into what we aspire for all Filipinos to have a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay para sa lahat.